guys, welcome to another conversation with B. So today we're talking about being relevant. We're living in a time where people are very, very selfish with their time. People are very selfish with just who they allow into their lives, just who they employ. So be it a relationship, be it just a conversation, be it a firm, an organization, a company, in whatever that we're doing these days, people are looking for people that are relevant. So today we're really just going to talk about some tips on how we can stay relevant in the different aspects of our lives and the areas of our lives, just how we can stay relevant and sustain this relevance. So the first thing that we're going to look at is, what are you bringing to the table? People are looking for someone that's going to bring something to the table. Just how much are you contributing to that firm, to that relationship, to that organization? How are you leading to its growth? How are you leading to its development? What thing are you bringing to the table? And when I talk about bringing something to the table, I mean you have to be offering something such that its absence cannot be ignored. We may all have the same qualifications, we may have the same personalities, we may have the same skills, but what is it about you as a unique individual? What's that thing about you that makes you extraordinary? You have to find it and be willing to bring it to the table. What is it that's so different about your skill? What's so different about your work ethic? That's the very thing that's going to make you relevant. You have to bring something to the table. People are not looking for people that just want to take and take and take, but you have to look for something that you can offer, something that cannot be ignored, and something that is going to keep you relevant. So please bring something to the table, contribute something, do something, let your presence be felt in that place. And then the second thing that we're going to talk about is go the extra mile. Are you willing to go the extra mile? This is something most of us are not willing to do. Of course, I'm not saying you should be that newbie that wants to just do everything excess and just do so much of everything. But in your firm, in your organization, in your company, are you willing to just research a little more than everyone else? Because if you want to stay relevant, you have to be doing something different. So are you willing to just gain even much more skill than is required? Are you willing to keep on learning? Because if you're going to stay relevant, you don't have to be comfortable. Never be comfortable. So are you willing to keep on growing? Are you willing to just stretch yourself beyond your limits? Go the extra mile. And this is not only in skills, but even in your thinking process, in your assessing. Are you willing to just learn more than what you already know? Are you willing to just switch up your routine and just sacrifice a little more time? Are you willing to stay a little longer? Are you willing to just work a little harder? And to stay relevant, you have to be willing to go the extra mile. Do something a little bit more than usual if you want to stay relevant. And the third thing that we're going to talk about is really just a bunch of three things that are put together. So that's commitment, consistency, and reliability. I know these are three different things, but I really just want to talk about them together because they're sort of intertwined. So commitment, consistency, and reliability. It's very important for us to be committed if we want to be reliable. It's very important for us to be consistent. To be someone that's relevant, you have to be someone that people can count on. You have to be that one person that they know, okay, if we tell this person to do this at random, they may be willing to do it because they have the skill at their fingertips. They have the knowledge at their tips, Are you willing to be that person that's always ready to release that information when it's needed, that's always ready in and out of season? Because there are some seasons where we're not even preparing for the next big thing, we're not ready for something, but are you willing to always stay awake, to always stay in touch with what's happening around you? Because if you want to be relevant, you have to be committed to the cause that you're in. You have to be consistent and you have to be reliable. They have to know that you're someone that's going to be there when they need you to be there, that you're someone that can show up when they need you to show up if you want to stay relevant. And of course, that's not something that's easy, but that's something that we really should start to work on. If we want to be relevant in whatever we're doing, we should really work on our commitment, we should really work on our consistency, and we should really try our best to be reliable people. And the next thing that we're going to talk about is know yourself. It's very important for you to know yourself if you're going to be relevant, because when you know yourself, I know this is something I like to talk about, but it's very important to know yourself, because when you know yourself, you know just what field you can enter into, you know just what opportunities you can consider, you know just how much skill you can learn. When you know yourself, you know when to go the extra mile. You know when to add something to the table. You know just how much skill to get. You know just how much knowledge and technical know-how that you need for a certain project Because when you know yourself, you know how you work. You know how you work best. You know how you learn best. You know just what you can do, how you can do it, when you can do it. So it's very important for you to know yourself, because when you know yourself, then you know what you can bring to the table. Then you know when and how you can go the extra mile. Then you know that you can be committed, when you can be committed, how you can be consistent. You know whether or not you're a reliable person and whether or not they can count on you. But all that happens after you know yourself, you know your purpose, you know just what you can do, what's so unique about you as an individual, what's the thing about you that differentiates you from everyone else. And that's the thing that's going to keep you relevant, be it in whatever that you're doing. And then lastly, of course, the one thing that will help us be relevant and stay relevant is to accept that change is constant. You know, the only constant thing in this world is change, because we're living in a time where things are changing daily, things are changing constantly. So we have to realize that things are changing and we have to accept change. You know, not so many people are okay with change, not so many people work well with change. But what if your firm is going through a change right now? What if your relationship needs to go through a change? What if your organization needs to go through a change? What if your thinking has to go through a change? You have to be open to change. You have to keep your eyes open and your ears open to just listen and just see what's going on around you. You have to be willing to change. When change is calling on you, you have to be willing to change. So even as time goes by, even as seasons come and go, please, if we want to stay relevant, let's be open to change. Let's just learn. Let's just grow. Let us be willing to go the extra mile. Let's be willing to bring something to the table. Let us be willing to go the extra mile, to stay committed, consistent, and reliable. Let us invest in knowing ourselves, and let us always be willing to accept change and to just change when change is calling on us. So that's really what I wanted us to talk about. Let us remain relevant, because indeed we are all relevant people. None of us were created without a purpose. So let's find where we can be relevant and just how we can sustain this relevance. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.